All right. Damn. So terrorists, man. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, this man crashed the economy in his first presidential term, and I literally was like when I was thinking about my money, I was like, okay, I got like a year or two before he crashes the economy. Like, I'm gonna play around that, and then within months, this man crashed a good economy. Like it would be so hard for it would be hard for anyone to do that unless they're doing it on purpose, which he clearly did.
Yeah.
Right? His people are rumoring there was stock trades right before he announced the tariffs of someone who made 200 300 million dollars like within 12 hours of
Mm.
him announcing his tariffs. And it's rumored to be his son, which is crazy. But
Oh, I
like
see that.
literally like you see that? Yeah, like
Mhm.
I mean not only that, you talk about Mar-a-Lago and all. Don't even get me started on that. That's not even has to do with tariffs, but like, even crazier. But like, not only that, he does that. Bunch of people make a shit ton of money. A bunch of one percenters, right? And
Mhm.
then you see the rise of groceries. Now you're seeing like unemployment also becoming an all-time high. They didn't even release the job report for the last 2 months because it's been so bad. Like
I
that's
saw that.
fucking crazy. That's
They're hiding the
insane.
death reports.
They literally are hiding reports of how bad the economy is doing because they have such low approval rate. Like that's, I mean, if any administration did that, if any fucking administration
Any
did
other
that, like that's,
administration.
you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm sorry, that's so crazy to me. I can't even imagine. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the economy's bad. People who said they voted for economy, they were just lying to themselves. I mean, I think anyone with a brain, like, knew that this guy is racist. I've been calling Trump Hitler literally since 2016. Like, literally, I heard him speak once. He said, like, this is initially I made this point. He said that we should start labeling immigrants with bar numbers on their arms so that way we can keep track of them. And I said, oh, so he's Hitler.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
fucking 10 years ago. I'm like, this is fucking 10 years ago. This guy's literally Hitler. That's literally my first thought. Louis C.K. wrote a letter to the, whoever, to them, talking about how he's Hitler and all this shit. I'm like, bro, like, that's exactly how I feel. And so, I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's a reason why he wants to crash this economy. These people aren't dumb. That's the truth. Like, I think, like, someone want to, like, label this shit as incompetent, but, I mean, there's a
Well,
reason why, as I said.
his like
What's
you
up?
said, his son is profiting off of insider trading.
Everything.
They're doing it all in
His
public sight. They're doing
They
crypto.
made his like whole organizations of companies. They've made $3 billion already this year.
Yeah,
More,
they're
they
doing
have made more
cryptocurrency
money
trade.
in this presidency than any presidency in history.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
Off
it,
of crypto.
it's right in everybody's face, and it has to be a problem if Biden's son is doing something. I don't even know exactly what he did.
Yeah,
But this is
yeah.
right in everybody's face, and there's not a peep about it. It's like this is if any other president was doing this, this would be corrupt as fuck, which it is.
Yeah,
And there's even more
yeah.
corruption going on with him and his ties to Epstein, his character.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you look at
He
Donald
was
Trump,
convicted of rape. What
yeah,
president could have been convicted of rape and then in his deposition and when he's talking, he's like, "Well, I think she liked it." Like, I mean, I'm astounded. I can't believe it. And people still want to defend this man and call him a president.
yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy that they, you know, the levels that you would have to go through to have even voted for this man. He was convicted of rape. He paid during his election, his last election cycle or whatever. He paid Stormy Daniels campaign money to have sex with her, and it was proven. Okay, and people still voted for him. This man paid a prostitute with campaign money. Like, it's illegal to do that. It's illegal to do that. Who cares? I mean, you could talk about having sex with a prostitute, how you feel about that morally, whatever. It's illegal. It's fucking illegal. Yeah, insane.
Yeah,
The list of crimes go on.
and it's. I mean, he's a 32-time felon. I can't imagine Obama getting elected being a one-time misdemeanor. And
Yeah,
you know what I
no.
mean. And it's just crazy
I
to
mean,
see the standards. It's
yeah.
crazy.
I want to say, I don't know if this is true. I might just be misremembering. I swear they were trying to bring up like traffic violations or some shit. I don't know if that's
Oh,
true or not, but I swear I recall like some dumb shit. I mean, they were coming up with the fact that he was born in Hawaii. They were trying to make it so that he shouldn't be able to run president. The
yep,
fact that he
yep.
was born in Hawaii. They were trying to come up with laws or something that they can do because they're like, well, maybe Hawaii. They were trying to make Hawaii almost essentially not a state, so that way
Yeah, yeah.
they can not prevent this guy's birth certificate from running.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, it's absolutely astounding. I mean, that's a whole thing to go into. I can't wait till we talk about these parties in the illegal shit because there's so much dirt. Um, but no, I mean, again, economy wise, I mean, especially right now, I mean, we're talking about the first trillionaire uh, in history, and that's not an accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah.
That is like a failure. That is a failure of America's values. That is a failure of everything we should stand for as a country. We used to tax people 70 to 90%. Like the standard of how other European countries now tax like 50% after a certain like amount of money. Now we don't even tax them. You know, and
Well, I
they
was just
literally just
looking at
paid
that.
for
The
an election.
corporate tax was like 50% at least in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
1940s, 50s. Then it went down to 25% in the 90s, and now it's at like 5. And
yeah,
I wonder
yeah,
you wonder what happens when you don't tax these corporations. They get even ballsier. They get even more reckless. They get even more, oh, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And
yeah,
so they're not going to pay nothing if you don't make them pay nothing. And
yeah.
they're not going to run away from the USA. We have one of the best consumer markets in the world.
Right, 100%.
So
Yeah, we
people
have.
are
I
telling
mean,
them
yeah,
to think that they hold the power. So it's a crazy thing to think that people haven't learned this lesson. Back when let's say they want to make America great again, right? Let's go back to the
right,
1950s. How about we tax these
right,
corporations like we did in the
right,
1950s?
right.
Then we can make it great again, if that's what you're really thinking. But that's
Right.
not how
If
you.
if you want to
That's how
talk
you
about if you want to talk about great again, how about when it used to be seen down upon of being upper class? How it used to be like visible disgust that they wanted people to live in middle class housing, you know, and have families in houses, being able to work one job, work two jobs, and support your family. Right? How were they able to do that? It was because people had living wages. They have stagnated wages for decades now,
Mhm.
right? And while these companies are now inflating their value by
Yeah,
trading with each other,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and they've inflated their value by just saying like, oh, like just trying to increase profits every year. And now, like the whole Walmart situation of like, I think, like I forgot what the amount of money was of people who work for Walmart, a grocery company that have to use like social like social programs, to compensate for wages. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, bro, we're
Like the
talking about
Walmart
the
started
grocery
in
store and,
Arkansas.
and their employees can't eat.
Yeah,
Like it
Walmart
doesn't
started in
even make
Arkansas.
sense.
The poorest people worked for them, and Arkansas is one of the poorest states. They can't afford to even really work there. So that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
I mean, living wage being $7.50 in some places in this country is absolutely insane. And then they use slave labor. They're like, well, that's still too much. We should use slave labor. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking about, and so I mean, in terms of philosophy, I'm a John Locke guy. I mean, I love the idea of actual capitalism. Like this isn't capitalism. This
Yeah.
idea of
No. No.
companies determining what our laws are is exactly why the idea of capitalism was made to exist. It was the idea that people could make as much money as possible, but had to follow the rules of the government. Like, they're not supposed to interfere with the politics of the military, with the politics of the people, and like taxes and things like that. They are supposed to follow the rules. If you want to be a powerful, you want to like engage in some type of like competition, you can do that, but it's not in terms of the detriment of everyone else. It's supposed to be a fair playground. But
Yeah.
nowadays,
Oh,
I can't even believe in capitalism anymore. It's done. It's cooked. It just can't. If the moment that anyone's going to get any more money, the first thing they're going to do is buy an election. Because they know they can make $1 trillion afterwards.
No, that's a good fucking point. It's definitely not. It's definitely an oligarch capitalism. I mean, what we see going on
Yeah,
now is the same with these companies merging. They own 90%. There's 4 companies that own 90% of the
yeah.
media. There's 4 companies
They
that
used
own
to get
90.
broken up.
Yeah, of this
Like
section. There's
even
four
even
companies
with
that
the
own
media,
90%.
like the media when media was owning, a bunch of all media, they got broken up. When oil was owning a bunch of, all oil, they got broken up. You
Yeah,
know,
they just
and
have antitrust
now,
law. They're on the
yeah,
books.
that's how
They
all
don't
these
use them.
laws were created that people are complaining about. It was during that time because we're like, wait, this is fucking crazy. We should do
Yeah,
something about it.
that's what's interesting is that the times that the MAGA base wants to go back to, it seems as if they don't. Well, clearly they don't. They don't understand history. They don't understand the everything that happened that is there now is in place to prevent certain things, and like
Yeah,
they want these trusts to come together. They want these mergers to come together. They want to consolidate power so they can have power over what we get to choose to decide and what we have to pay. And
yeah, but I don't think MAGA is a credible source for any type of actual dialogue because the
oh
truth
no,
is they're a cult.
yeah,
And I'm not saying like I know they say like, oh, like I think people MAGA will follow whoever they want to follow. They've proven, through the past, decade that they don't care about anything.
yeah,
That's just the truth. Like if it's child rape, they don't care about it. If it's violence and crime rates, they don't care about it, especially this year. I'm from Chicago, so crime rate in a lot of cities have been going down, and they still want to try and make it a point. It's like, well, crime. It's like, well, we're going down. It's going down. What are you talking about? We're doing a good job following these, like the community policing and other programs. Like, but no, it's not about that. So then, what is it about? And the truth is that these people aren't educated enough um, to have an actual opinion. That's the thing. Like, it's and I do respect the MAGA base now for a little bit because they're starting to realize their bullshit.
yeah.
It's coming alive, at least a little bit. At least a little bit. I don't really know how much because, like, I mean, I didn't think Trump was going to win this year. I knew he was going to win this year, but I'm like, he shouldn't, like,
Yeah.
regardless of all of his crimes. But, like, yeah, I mean, I think hopefully they wake up. But I mean,
Well,
you could give them facts and
yeah,
it's already laid out,
yeah.
and it's just I mean if they choose to listen, they choose to listen. There's not, you know what I'm saying, like that base
I
doesn't.
don't think they started turning until Trump himself called them an idiot for trying to look at the Epstein files. Whatever
Yeah,
that is, they started to be like, a little bit. Now I think 80% of them are still gonna, they're still with Trump no matter what. He could have had sex with Bill Clinton. He could have had,
yeah, he could have
fucking
blown
underage
Bill
girls.
Clinton. That's crazy, man.
They're like,
Like
oh well, gay people are cool
yeah,
now, so whatever. It's
what's wrong with that? It's like, bro, I thought you hated Bill Clinton. Your guy was giving him neck in the Oval Office or something. Like, what the fuck? Like I don't know. Come on,
I thought
man,
Money
pick
was against
something.
dudes giving
Like
neck,
the
but
man is
apparently
evil. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Are you against blowjobs or are you for blowjobs? Like, pick one. I don't know.
they're not. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
they're just finding out in real time, but they should have been found out. I don't understand. I don't understand, but they,
Well, it's propaganda though. The truth is
yeah,
is
yeah,
is
yeah,
this, especially being an American, and
the media
the
market.
truth is now you have the one percenters literally propagandizing things to uneducate the base so that way they make worse decisions and that way they can get more power.
Hmm.
Again, this goes back to capitalism. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's crazy. And so, yeah, I mean, like, they're literally like funding, Facebook, like lost a lawsuit
Hmm.
where they did questionnaires about, like essentially about how they could get people to like influence people in elections, right?
Right,
And they
right.
lost. They lost the lawsuit, and so it's like I don't know, bro. Like at a certain point, like yeah, it's true. I mean, you get propaganda. propagandize so much, and your news cycle becomes hard to break through.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I will say though, at a certain point, like you just gotta accept the truth, man. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't have to put in too much effort, but like, fuck, man, like,
Well, okay, so
like,
I'm seeing that on the. I'm just looking at the stats. So Trump's approval is at a 36%. It's the lowest
that's
for.
fucking terrible. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. 30. That's really fucking bad.
That's the lowest for a
That's
first year
crazy.
president or whatever. It's almost as bad as after the January 6th riots where he was at 34%. So
Yeah.
it's almost at
Yeah.
that level. Independents are losing a lot of, they're losing a lot of his base from independents or his
Yeah.
vote that he got this year. And I don't even know how you're independent. You voted for him, but
Yeah.
so he's
No,
going
100%.
down a lot, and it has to do with all the things that we're talking about. The economy, the housing keeps going up. It's at 2%, keeps going up in terms of inflation. You keep seeing groceries go up. The GDP is at 1.8% with projections compared to the normal rate of 2.4. Everything is down, and it's a lot to do with it has all to do with Trump's policies. It has a lot to do with the tariffs. It has a lot to do with him. None of this is Biden. This is all
Yeah.
Trump doing. There
See,
used to
and
be
this
a
is the
time.
thing too.
Yeah,
Stable growth is the driving point of our economy is stable growth. And
yes,
so you try to do these crazy ass tariffs, and it's like that's just gonna make people scared of the market. And also, and speaking of the market, like the tariffs are not gonna do anything.
yeah,
Like especially now with global players like China, and they could just literally China's being nice to us. They could just take all of our business and fuck us up if they wanted to. But they're generally like, we're doing good. We don't even have to do that. That's the truth. Like they
yeah.
generally, like they literally don't give a fuck about what we're doing because they're
Well,
doing so
the
well.
U.S. was the first ones to cave in anything to China. China can do whatever the fuck they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
for a
And
reason.
and speaking of the tariffs thing, I mean, it doesn't even really like, we can talk about the GDP, we can talk about the percentage, but honestly, like in terms of poverty, in terms of education, and like all levels of education, including college, like we're like in healthcare, it's just cooked. Like these
Hmm.
prices are going up, and like you talk about it base. You're always going to need to get education. You're always going to
Yeah,
need healthcare. You're
we're
always going
already
to need to
behind.
get food. And we're already behind. Like at what point is it going to be sustainable for all of us to keep paying for healthcare while every other country doesn't have to?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like one bill will always be thousands of dollars. Always.
Hmm.
Here, and if it doesn't change. And like that's why that's why these bases were created in the first place. Whatever. I'm not even. Yeah. That's why these bases were created in the first place.
Yeah. No, I mean, how many people are going to be able to live longer in different countries, gain more wealth? How many people are going to
Yeah.
be able to be,
Teaching expectancy is getting lower.
yeah, more stable? We're having a lacking population according to Elon Musk. He wants to fix so badly. Maybe put
Yeah.
some healthcare in. Maybe people want to have kids
Yeah.
to have some healthcare.
Maybe
Uh,
make it affordable for people to have kids. Like I don't know. Is that
yeah, or that
crazy?
even too. Why don't you do both? Then maybe you can have some kids in America. So it's ass
And,
backwards.
and and truthfully, we're actually not doing that bad in terms of birth rate. Like we're
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
all these other countries. And I've heard so that argument too. They're
Uh-huh.
like, well, they try to point to other countries. Like I've heard them like mention Japan
Uh-huh.
and Korea because they like their capitalism over there because it's so fucked. But they have a worse birth rate than us because their capitalism is even worse, right? Because they work 12-hour days and shit,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And he's like, oh, well, look at them, they're doing great because he just wants more money from us. That's the truth. And it's like, yeah, they have a worse birth rate.
More people means more Teslas, more cars.
Yeah, that's the thing too that really pisses me off, man. It's like not only are the 1% specifically just trying to use propaganda and other things to take food out of our mouth, even for them, it doesn't make sense to shrink the middle class and make everyone poor and make like maybe 2 more people rich. Like the whole, if people had money, they're just gonna buy products. This is fucking
Yeah.
America. Everyone's materialistic. They're just gonna buy shit. Everyone's gonna make more money if more people have more money. They did the same thing during the pandemic where they gave people checks, stimulus checks, and the economy did fine because people bought shit, right?
Yeah,
And people
yeah.
actually use their money for shit. People were like, "Oh, it's gonna this." And Republicans were like, "Oh, no, we shouldn't bail them out, and this is gonna happen, and blah blah blah." And they kept voting against it, and then nothing happened. It worked great. It set us fine after the pandemic,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
gave Biden Biden gave Biden a good like stable economy. 4 years.
yeah. Nah, it's fucking it's I don't know. This is the first year, and I just don't know how people
Yeah.
don't understand. I don't know how people can look at somebody's track record and say it's not going to happen this time when it's been proven
Yeah.
that it has happened multiple times. I mean, Trump has never proven that he can run the economy successfully, and
Right.
it's a
Right.
thing where he can't even do it in his own fucking life, his own business.
His own
He got
businesses.
bailed
Yeah.
out by creditors. He got bailed out by creditors because he was bankrupt. So
Yeah.
why do you trust this man to run some shit?
100%. 100%. I know. I agree. I couldn't agree more. And I think that I mean I think it's just a front though. Like especially the podcasters and like those types of people that were putting him on his podcast, and everyone made money from that. Turning Point USA and other groups pay people to speak good and push this types of shit. You know, all these people are paid, bro. All these people are paid. Like Charlie Kirk, fucking Ben Shapiro, fucking Candace Owens, especially
Yeah.
Candace Owens. I hate that bitch. They're all paid. They get paid. They get paid millions. They get paid millions to lie to you. Millions.
Everything is fucking. You got to think about who's behind the dollar for sure. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till I start going off on these conspiracy theories. I can't wait to tell you, bro. I can't wait to tell you all this bullshit. I can't wait to tell you about Candace Owens too. Oh my god, I can't wait to tell you about her.
Bullshit, man.
You may know, but
I think you can get into it, man. Do you think? Because I've been wanting to hear it.
hey, bro. Well, okay. Damn, where do I even start? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll start with the recent killing of those 2 National Guard members. I told you about how the guy that allegedly shot them used to work for the CIA. That's not hearsay. That's not whatever. He's confirmed he used to work for them in Afghanistan and Iraq. In was it? I want to say in death squads or something. But basically, he worked with them, and they wanted to bring people over after that change in regime or whatever, and so this year, he gets approved by the Trump administration in April to come to the United States. And so, I mean, just that alone should alarm all these bells. They're like, they can't even. Not only that, after this happens, within 12 hours, they're like, oh, we're going to do remigration. We're going to make sure all these, like Afghan people get out of here, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I mean, there's not even an attempt of acknowledgement. Like, they immediately go in a policy they're going to try and push. They're going to immediately go into trying to incarcerate more people, and so it just doesn't make sense. It's clearly a false flag to me. Like, I can't even accept that this man did it out of cold blood, because that just doesn't make sense, bro. This guy used to work for the CIA, and the FBI and the CIA are clearly compromised right now in every way possible. Trump has put in loyalists that have been even being found guilty of being unfit for their role. Like, this just happened, I think, in New Jersey. Like, he appointed someone illegally, and they're like, no, you can't do that. Like, that person's not supposed to be appointed and is getting rescinded. Right? So they've been doing that shit. They've been putting in loyalists. They've been firing people, making people go on early retirement. That's why he's been getting away with so much shit. And so it's like, okay, so now his approval, as you're saying, his approval's at 36%, right? And he's trying to start a war, with Venezuela. Now Pete Evans is probably going to get committed for war crimes. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, we're talking, this is the same fucking week. No fucking way, bro. No fucking way this guy worked for the CIA doing the exact same shit that he probably just did, right? And it's a coincidence? It's not even a conspiracy at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Flag is insane. Like, and it, it's this shit seems like real credible. Like, I'm like slow on conspiracy theories.
Same.
This shit is like really like, yeah, it makes a lot
Because
of
it's
sense.
so compromised. The FBI is so compromised. They have secret fucking police, bro. They have secret police, and they are consistently lying about the cases. We'll get in a little about this ICE thing, but like, I'm from Chicago, so they shot a lady over here 5 fucking times, and then they tweeted that Department of Homeland Security fucking tweeted saying she was a.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you're back. I think. Yeah, you're good. It's just gonna do a new recording. Yeah, you're good. No, you're good. It says it on here.
So okay, sorry, it was cut back. So, I'm forgetting your name. I could easily find it, but there was a Chicago lady. So people were following ICE and just like honking, to like alert people of their presence. So the ICE agents like ran this woman, right? And I think she's still like they ran this woman. They shot her 5 times, a whole crazy ass thing. And they made up a bunch of these lies. They were like, "Oh, no, she hit us first, and she was yelling at us and all this shit," right? And then when he rammed her, he like shot the lady 5 times in the car, and like I forgot what happened. I think did he drive off? I'm not sure if he drove off, but it was a big deal. Everyone was pissed about it, and they were making tweets and shit. Like I forgot what the Homeland Security said at the time. But another shit like, oh, they were completely justified. Like, oh, I'm sorry. They said, Department of Homeland Security said she rammed them first and was causing all this problems and all this stuff. And so then they're trying to charge her with like domestic terrorism and all this shit, right? And then people reported like the whole thing, and if like none of what they were saying were true. None of the things that they were.
Oh yeah.
So then she comes out of the hospital, out of critical condition. She fucking survives, thank God. And
shit.
They dropped the case a day before she's about to go on trial for the crimes that they said they dropped the fucking case, bro. I mean,
damn.
Literally, they and then when they dropped the case, that's when Department of Homeland Security said that she's a fucking domestic terrorist and all this shit. She's just a U.S. citizen. She's just a Mexican U.S. citizen that's lived here, that was born here and lived here. Like what the. And they shot her 5 times. They shot her 5 times. The ICE agent that shot her bragged about it. He like tweeted, he's like, "Oh, I shot her 5 times. She had 7 bullet holes. This is gonna be in my."
Yeah, those ICE motherfuckers are weird as shit, bro. They're weird as shit.
They're Nazis.
They're fucking. Yeah. Well, that's
They're Nazis.
That would explain a lot. But they act like Nazis, bro. And I don't understand. I do not understand. You have a "Don't Tread on Me" fucking sticker on your fucking, on your fucking truck. You have a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker, and you see these random fucking licensed police officers just on the street, and think that's okay.
People without a warrant, right?
Yeah, with no warrants, no federal. They don't even go to court most of the time. Reported
kidnapping missions. Like so for that daycare lady that who was freed eventually. But the daycare lady that they arrested inside a daycare, they fouled her when she got off of work. Or when she was going to work. So in the morning, she was driving to work at the daycare. When she gets out of her car to go inside the daycare, they come up and run in there, right, and arrest her. And I think Department of Homeland Security was saying, well, yeah, we went in there because she went in there, right, and then we quickly left. The witnesses say that they checked every room looking for immigrants. They went into this daycare. They were looking at all the kids, making sure they could maybe see which ones or whatever. They went into all the other rooms apparently and were looking for just brown people, and then they took the lady. As well as in full arms and shit. And you can see the videos of them going deeply inside the building, and so I mean, as I'm saying, this just goes to prove how compromised not only the Department of Homeland Security is, but the FBI. Like, I mean, as much as I hate ICE, like, I mean, they're a bunch of fucking Nazis, the secret police. Like, I mean, talk about the Second Amendment use. Like, seriously, because that's where it's at. But like, I mean, obviously, that's why I'm like, it has to be a false flag operation because there is no length that they won't do. They've already shot and tried to kill people and then lied about it. Why wouldn't they do that again? Why wouldn't they do that on a national scale? Right? They're already trying to do it on a national scale here in Chicago and in LA, right? You know, they're finding people who I think there was a guy who was a U.S. citizen who was found bound by his hands and feet and killed and tortured. And he was in ICE custody. And they're trying to, you know, and they're investigating that. I mean, come on.
I feel like there's one every day. Their success rate at finding people that are supposed to be illegal is terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
they are really
in Operation Midway Blister in Chicago, 16 out of the 675 people that were arrested and detained here had criminal charges. And that's 16.
Yeah. Oh,
who would even know? Some of these criminal charges might be fucking nothing, bro. That's the truth. And then even then, it's still, we're talking about 97%. And so, I mean, even if you...
Oh, that's the people. So the people that got, that's what I want to talk about too. The people that got pardoned for January 6th, they have that same rate, 15 for 1,000. But these people, they were child sex crimes, multiple child sex crimes.
Bro, I was gonna talk about this. Yes, bro.
No, multiple child sex crimes. They have a lethal drunk driver.
Yeah,
lethal drunk driver. All that shit. And this is the people that stormed the Capitol. So if you want to
attended the coup, they attended the coup, got pardoned, and then started fucking children when they got out. I mean, come on, bro. What are you talking about?
I thought MAGA was about protecting kids. I thought Pizzagate was real.
Yeah.
I thought QAnon was real.
Yeah, bro.
What are these people doing?
Yeah.
You are the ones that are committing. If you look at that rate, that is the same rate that people are saying, oh, illegal immigrants, yeah, they just commit crimes and they do child sex and all that. No, the rate is what the people at January 6th did.
Yeah.
And they did it right after. Right after they got
out, bro.
You can see it back.
They just got.
As soon as they got out, they wanted to rape some kids.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. If you really believe in what you believe, MAGA, you should realize that these people are who you associate with, and you're in a cult of people that don't believe in anything that you really believe in. Everybody is fucking brainwashed. That shit is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You should not be a part of it.
And this is what has always upsetted me, especially about politics in America, especially about being a black man. You have people who would vote with Nazi members and KKK, right? And look you in the eyes and tell you that they're not racist. They'll look in my eyes and say, yeah, I vote for this shit, but I'm not racist. I'm like, so, but you know, the KKK really supports who you vote for. Does that not do anything to your mindset about who you're voting for? And they're like, no, I mean, we just happen to have some similar value. What are you talking about? And you even now, right now, they're like, they tried to make the swastika and nooses not a hate symbol in the military. And it got blocked.
I saw that. That was fucking odd.
And they got blocked. But here's the thing. When they do this shit, right, and they do this clearly racist shit and they say this clearly racist stuff, they're not doing it even expecting it to work. They're doing it as a flag so that way people know who they should vote for if they want to hang like people or gas chambers. Right. And you talk about these, you're like, no, that's not true. That can't be possibly true. Okay, so the Young Republicans group chat talk about how if they win, when they win the election, the first thing they're going to do is execute all of their opponents. The first thing they're going to do is get gas chambers up and kill everyone that disagrees with them. And here's the thing to people who are of a different race. Young Republicans said, what about people who think they're with us, right? So they're saying, what about people who are black or who are Mexican who still vote for us? They're like, oh, we'll save them for last, and we'll come up with something special to kill them with. I mean, bro. And then J.D. Vance says,
Why would me? Hold on, Deonte. Why would us, as me and Deonte, as black people, why would we vote, or why would we be a part of a young Republican caucus like this? Why? This is the shit that Republicans don't have a hold of. The whole party, the whole base, they don't have a part. This is me and Deontay knew this shit. This is why we see this shit all the time. Going to fucking Waterford, going to white schools. We saw that shit all the fucking time. This is in every fucking young Republican class meeting. Any part, it's the same fucking group chat.
Same group chat.
Go ahead.
Continue. No, not only is it the same group chat, but okay. So then JD Vance then says, "Well, I mean, come on, we all said crazy shit as kids. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You were talking about executing whole races of people, and then not only that, you were talking about executing whole races of people when you win an election when you're in a politics group. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm dumbfounded. That didn't even really break the news cycle. That's what's crazy. Like, you had some people like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I can't necessarily, like, you know, I mean, come on, bro.
Right.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. And this is the reason why, you know, one of the reasons why I come on the pod, man, is like, bro, we all gotta just start voicing our opinion and being out there, because truthfully, we're not coming to fascism. Fascism is here, right? We're not at step one. To be honest, we're like close to the last step, bro. We're there. They're expanding ICE to be the fourth like most expensive military in the world, right? And now they're talking about remigration. The process of remigration is picking a group of people and getting rid of them. That's the process of remigration. It is saying, okay, so they're saying we should remigrate Afghans, right? What does that mean? It means anyone that is Afghan in the country should get removed. That's what that means. How do you go about that? Well, guess what? If you have the fourth most expensive military in the world, I guarantee you it's possible, right? And so, and so, like, fascism is here. Like, midterms, we are talking about the most important elections in history. You know, shit. If you don't have money and you're broke, then, you know, protest and engage in your community. You know, try and get. I'll be honest. Try and get a socialist elected, bro, because these people, they'll sell you out to the highest bidder, bro. And if you do have money, fucking do. If you have time, fucking do some calls, bro. Like, I'm serious. Like, the times are dire, man, because it's here. And if you look at this is every single thing that has been happening is a playbook of fascism and the Nazis. And
that's what I was gonna.
These people know that. They're not dumb. These people aren't dumb. They're in the most powerful positions right now in the world. You don't think they know what they're doing? You don't think they know what they're saying when they say, oh, swastikas aren't that bad? You don't think they know what they're saying when in these group chats, right, they're talking about killing all of their opponents? When the Trump is saying, hang these opponents? You don't think they know what they're trying to do? No, they know. They're doing it on purpose. And so, I mean, like, as I said before, like, shit, man, if you're, like, this ICE shit, man, like, and all that stuff, like, not only is it wrong morally, it's un-American, bro. It's against our entire foundational system as a country, you know? No military is supposed to be in our streets harassing our citizens. That's the entire reason why we divested from the British Empire, right? That's why we did the party, because they had red coats inside of our houses. So we fucking came our own country because of that.
Yep. And and now ICE was fucking in the streets, and then it'll raid your house.
They've been breaking into people's. And the thing is too, like, this is the things that we see. What are the things we don't see?
Yeah,
that's the truth. Right. The things that we see are awful. They're disgusting. You know, I talked to you about how they shot an innocent woman 5 times, claimed for her to be a domestic terrorist and not a U.S. citizen when she's a U.S. citizen and not obviously a fucking domestic terrorist. Dropped the charges when they knew we were going to lose, so that way it doesn't hit the media cycle. You know what I'm saying? And so, and they're doing that in plain view. They're tweeting about it. They're fucking tweeting about it. And that's what I'm saying with the whole that the person that the National Guard member just killed, like, bro, false flag, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, if they're doing this shit in open view, I can't take something like that seriously when all the cards line up against them, right? That's not possible. Yeah. Be careful.
No,
Everyone
I
be
mean I believe it, bro, because they've been out and about, and that Trump just wants to have them there as long as possible, or anybody else in the government. And it's fucking crazy that um these people are just there. Like people are. I feel like people are just fucking accepting the fact that there's a secret police on the streets. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people. They don't know about the Constitution. They don't know about American ideals.
Yeah.
But that shit was never okay. Like you said, we left the British for that reason. So people need to wake the fuck up. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, man. And I think the midterms. I think the midterms are gonna. I mean, just this past whatever that was election this
Yeah.
year with the governor
Yeah.
races, Trump was very agitated by that.
Yeah.
You could tell he was hurt by that. He kept talking about it. I don't know, whatever. He kept bringing it up, and now he's using the keyword affordability because that's what Democrats ran on.
Yeah.
So everybody, watch out for affordability. How about that? And when we get to midterms, see how affordable shit is. Because I promise you, there's a reason you should vote a different way than what the country is going, the direction the country is going. Right.
Yeah.
And if you're spending the fourth most military on something that I think the number was 60% of Americans don't approve of ICE, at least 60%. You're spending the fourth most money on that, and you're cutting federal jobs. We got all these traffic delays in the airwaves. We got all these fucking backups on everything. You're fucking up.
I heard a story now too that certain people don't want to trade in American dollars anymore. They want to trade in euros. Like in,
oh well, the American dollar lost a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's bad.
Yeah,
that's capital BAD.
That's the thing.
And the reason why the American dollar is strong is because people believe in trading in it, and it's like consistent value. Yeah. But they're like, oh, they're going to become a fascist state and start killing their own people? Yeah, we're not going to trade in their money anymore. So, and again, and if that changes, and by the way, let's say you do want to be a fascist piece of shit and you want us to all die and shit. Well, guess what? Your economy's still going to fail. That's the truth. You haven't solved any solutions, right? Like this 1% of crime rate that you think you've gotten rid of, which you haven't, because it's 1%. It's not going to change anything. If you change the 1%, there's still going to be the same amount of crime. Secondly, they're running on saying that immigrants are the cause of the housing crisis, bro. They're trying to say immigrants are the cause of the housing crisis. How insane is that? It's not BlackRock that owns like 60% of like all homes or some crazy X number. It's fucking immigrants. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, not only that, they're not talking about the inflation of rent and how wages are stagnating. So now like 53% Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Like, why do you think that is? Because rent's too high and because wages are too low. Like, that's the only reason why. And that's not immigrants' fault. That's fucking clearly the 1%'s fault, obviously, because they control both those things.
Before the immigration problem became a brown skin problem, it used to be a white European problem. It used to be an Irish problem. It used to be an Italian problem.
No dogs, no blacks, no Jews. 1900s. They used to write on their signs, no dogs, no blacks, no Jews.
Yeah. But you know what happened? The people in power, 1920s, millions of undocumented immigrants coming, right? What are all these people that are Irish descendants? St. Patrick's Day, you guys going out for that? White people? I'm sure you are, right? The fucking thing, they came over illegally. They came over illegal as fuck. Shit was not a problem then. And it has a lot to do with fucking race. And you know what? It was good that those people came over because the economy boomed after those people came over. It kept going up because you had people at the bottom who had to fucking work shit jobs to build up the fucking bullshit capitalist fucking oligarchy that we in today. So if you're getting rid of all these purchasing power, you want to get rid of all these immigrants, you're getting rid of a big part of the economy. Now, and then you're losing jobs where we already cut 1 million jobs. None of this shit adds up to a strong fucking economy in any
Yeah.
way. In any way,
None
this
of those
shit does
things.
not
All those
make
things
sense.
are
If you're losing
clearly
jobs and
signs of
losing people.
a bad economy. That your economy is failing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, none of this shit is gonna add up to a good economy. The jobs report, they don't want to come out. The GDP report, they don't want to come out.
That's so crazy.
Like we said,
Yeah.
there's a fucking reason. There's a fucking reason. They understand what they're trying to do. This is why people got fired for it. I'm just saying, it will not, no matter the MAGA math you want to do, none of those factors add up to a good economy. So, and a strong, secure nation. So keep doing your MAGA
Look
math.
at where the
It's
nation
not
is
working.
now. You know, they were like, "Oh, we want secure borders and all this stuff." Okay, great. So now we have border patrol and all these fucking places. And why is crime still being committed? Why are these high-profile assassinations still happening? You know, and one, obviously, I think I'm starting to believe that they're just bullshit. Like, I don't even believe that it's real, because there's no point in trusting the president or any of that or those branches of power, because they're just lying to us. Like, they're consistently lying. You know, you may want to say whatever you want about Biden or Obama. They were not consistently lying. They weren't lying every tweet that they made in a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. And then not only that, like, I mean, like, if they're not bringing out the job report, you know, and you know they just blame Biden when they fuck up. You know, Pete Hegseth is talking about war crimes, is talking about the Biden administration, when it's like, bro, what does that have to do with how you just double tapped fucking people? Like, and then you said kill them all. You're like, kill them all, like a fucking supervillain. And then you're like, well, the Biden administration, like, when you called out for it, that's crazy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And you know, like, they get a good economy, crash it within a year, and they're saying it's Biden's fault. That's crazy. And you know what's funny? And as much as you want to talk about Biden, that's something that the Republicans do, not something that the Democrats do. Republicans purposely crash the economy when the Democrats come into power. Every single time. They did it with Obama and they did it with Biden. Right? As I said before, Trump crashes the economy 4 years. You know, Barack Obama, like, picked up from the greatest recession in history in 2008 and then created a stable economy. You know, and that's the funny thing. People, like, are reminiscing about it, but even at the time they were giving this man shit, and at the time they were saying crazy racist shit. But you know what? Like, the thing is, they really never talked about Bush. Biden could have paid into Trump every second he got. He was like, bro, look what this fucking man did. Like, what I have to deal with. That's what I would say.
Imagine if Obama was saying everything was Bush's fault. Did Obama ever fucking say? I don't know. I don't remember him saying that everything was Bush's fault when he fucking might have conspired to do 9/11 and crash the economy. I don't think he fucking said everything was Bush's fault. So that has to stay for a president, man. You can't blame everything on your predecessor. That is not how it fucking works. And like I said, Republicans, I don't understand you. There has been a 30-year market, 30-year study. Democrats have only raised the fucking economy and made it stable. Republicans have crashed it every fucking time.
The last person you say, and they do it on purpose. Who does that benefit? The 1%.
And that's very true. That is probably why they do it. They do it for the 1%. I believe that. I believe that. But if you're a person, like, if you're a voter, why are you not taking this into account? Clinton had one of the strongest economies ever. Obama followed that up, and then Biden was on the stock market highs, blah 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 blah, everything that Trump brags about right now. He was on all of that, and Trump is already fucking that up in the first year. So I just don't understand the point of saying it's for the economy when it's not. So I don't know.
No, 100%.
That shit don't make sense.
100%.
That's what me. I'm just looking at evidence, man. That's what I like to do. I like to look at fucking evidence. Okay. And I like to look at
Well,
people's
I'm so
character.
glad you bring this
Okay.
up because the truth is, man, we're at a point now. Like, I mean, it's not about truth. It's not about none of these things. I think the people that have turned have turned. I don't think that
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
people are going to come along the side of actually changing their mind. Because the truth is, right? Like, if you could support any of the things that are happening right now from Trump, right? Like, especially like if you talk about ICE, you talk about those tariffs, you talk about him trying to create a fake war in Venezuela, and like killing some people there. Like, what does it come down to? It comes down to white supremacy, right? And not
Yeah.
only that, this man, when Snap was cut, this man was in
Mm-hmm.
Mar-a-Lago holding a Great Gatsby party. First of all, let's be real.
That's great.
There's definitely prostitutes there. Like, if you look, there's a bunch of women in skimpy costumes talking to politicians and shit, and touching their arms and doing all this shit. You really don't think there's not prostitutes there? You really don't think that they're doing some fucked up illegal shit that they shouldn't be doing at a goddamn like fucking country club all the way over there? Like, come on, bro. And they're doing that while they're starving the American people. And then they're like, oh, like, well, we don't want to starve people. It's because of the shutdown. So then the Democrats are like, oh, well, you know what? Guess what? Guess what? They're like, guess what? Well, we have an emergency fund specifically set so that way we can pay people to eat food. So fine, we'll do that instead. And then they remove it from the website. Like the week before. Are you kidding me? They remove it from the website. They lose in court. And they're consistently trying to appeal in court to not feed the American people. That's crazy. And they're doing that while eating lobster. I mean, they're eating lobster and they're tearing down the White House. They're doing that while tearing down the White House and eating lobster, bro. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane. So, I mean, obviously they don't care about your best interest. So anyways, so the reason why I say that is because they're literally trying to take the food out of people's mouths. They literally are dismantling the Department of Education. They're just trying to, they're creating secret police to just fuck with any person of color. And you'd be like, okay, so like none of those things, anyone with a brain knows that none of those things are going to benefit anyone, right? That's not going to benefit anyone. So then if you're as a voter, why would you vote for it? There's only one clear reason, and it's because you want to be part of the white supremacist group. You want to be part of just anger and hate. And so you vote on that.
Well, that's why the MAGA base is not fucking known for being able to really debate you, bro. They don't really have, they're not known for really processing what the fuck they just spit out. And because Trump's lingo, Trump's talk is a dog whistle for racists. It is. It's been racist at times. Like, it just, whatever he says can be racist. So it can be sexist, it can be misogynistic, whatever. It's all a dog whistle for these people. Yeah. And if you have a party that like gets endorsed by KKK or whatever, me, you, black people, we're not gonna fucking vote for you.
That's why I'm so happy to be black, bro. Because for real.
And we're always ahead of the curve,
bro. Yeah, we've always been like, bro, fuck these guys, bro. What the fuck? Like, because it's so obvious to us, and one of the reasons why it's so obvious is because black people don't want to be white supremacist, like, obviously, right? And we feel that way. Yeah. But these other fringe, racial groups in America, they're like, but, like, I don't know, like, I could get that power too, and they want to vote. And I like how black people are like, bro, I don't fuck with any of that shit. Like, fine, bro. Like, I'll be your enemy and I'll fight back. I fuck with that shit so heavy. Yeah. I fuck with that shit so heavy.
No, that's facts. No matter like what race or whatever, if we see some fucked up shit going down, and we're the first to see it, but we're like, nah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Yeah, 100.
Immediately.
Yeah, I mean, like that us being like still one of like the groups that actively didn't vote for Trump. That makes me so happy, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
and the thing is too, like, all these values, I mean, the entire argument of like SNAP and welfare and these political arguments, these aren't new. This has been centuries of this shit, and they're not going to stop doing it because it keeps working, right? You're like, hey, we have to cut SNAP benefits and we have to make healthcare unaffordable. And it's like, well, but
Yeah.
Who does that benefit? It benefits no one, but people are literally subscribing to the idea because they just want to see people worse than them. It's part of the mentality.
Yeah.
If they have less, then I'm superior. That's what I'm saying. It's literally a white supremacy.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can prevent people from getting education, if I can prevent people from doing better in life, I still feel superior in my little heart. Even though they don't have healthcare, they don't have education, they just got a little bit more. They just got a little bit more.
Well, see, my theory on that is it's so simple to break it down. You ever see trailer trash white people?
Yeah.
Trailer trash white people, man. If you ever see them,
yeah, we've been around them. I've done some money from it.
If you ever see them, what did they end up? The rate of those people that end up fucked up, like that end up doing crazy shit, or that end up trying to be, black in the community, or you know what I mean? Like the rate of those people that end up fucked up, that go to jail, do drugs, it is high up compared to the rate of minorities that do that shit. And there's even like fucking science behind that shit. There's studies, but you can see that most of the people that are on SNAP, that are on welfare, are white people. Like mostly, and they're in rural states. They're in people like Arkansas. They're in Mississippi. And I just saw this video of this guy.
Yeah.
He was at a food bank, and there's all these white people lining up. This is like, must have been a week ago or so. And he's speaking, and he says, "Where's your guys' red hat?"
Yeah.
Because they all were MAGA. They all were MAGA. They were older. They might have been 50, and you could tell that's who they voted for. And the guy's like, "Man, come on! I'm just hungry. I'm trying to get food." No, dude, this goes both ways.
Right.
If you're gonna say shit like that to me or to anybody that you're watching on Fox News and you're just shouting in the air, then I got the right to say it to you, man. And it doesn't hit you until it hits you, and that's the main fucking thing, bro. That's the main fucking thing.
Yeah, and my thing is, I don't want to see anyone start. I want to see everyone have education. And that's what's crazy. It's the common a lot of Americans, almost all Americans feel this way. They want to see people have education. They want to see people have health care. And it's like,
that's true.
Why? But we're literally at a battle. It's just propaganda, bro. These people, it's propaganda and racism. And truthfully, as I said, no one's dumb anymore. This is all proven. I could run this shit, right? I could do this. If you put there's so many people, you could put so many people in power and be like, this is how you misinform them. This is how you cause division, and this is how you get your votes, right? And they're doing it, and they're spending billions, right, on elections, so that way they can cause that division and literally take the food out of your mouth. And you voted for it.
Yeah.
And you gotta wake up, bro. You just gotta wake up. Every American needs to wake up. And they
understand the disagreement between SNAP, man. People don't look at studies, man. It says if you're fucking well fed, or you're at least fed, you have better grades, better productivity,
less possible.
You're not going to be running to crime,
everything.
And they don't see none of this shit.
Yeah.
So why would you cut that if you're worried about crime? If you're worried about people turning to whatever, then why would you cut one of the main programs that stops that?
Yeah, 100%.
But they just don't see it.
Yeah,
or they don't care.
Yeah, and same with Medicaid and healthcare. So, people they want to talk all the shit about Luigi Mangione. He killed the CEO because of healthcare. He's like, I'm not going to get healthcare or whatever. So he murdered the dude, and people got healthcare for a couple of weeks. They approved all the things for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, that's bad. That's violent. It's okay. So it's so can people have healthcare? Because you're going to put people in a position between, well, I'm going to die anyways because of these 1%ers. So what am I going to do? Right? You know what I'm saying? And we're getting to a point too of 1984. And again, the super fascism shit where they're lining up people on food lines and shit. I don't know I don't know how you're going to expect that to go well.
Well, why don't we just kill a CEO every week so everybody can have healthcare? I don't know, why doesn't it just get to that?
Think what was this?
You know what I mean?
If you take all the murders and you put it on the billionaires, there'd be like no billionaires in like a week or two or something like that. And I guarantee that would change things.
Well, and the thing about is how many lives did he save by killing one CEO?
Thousands.
If everybody got help,
It was thousands. If I recall from here, I think it was thousands. You know.
Yeah, so maybe it was worth it. If you
had to
ask me.
slap him with a terrorism charge. That's so crazy to me. I don't know, man. I mean, you can always point out injustice like, well, what about this person and that person and blah blah blah. And it's all game. Like they don't give a fuck. They just want to scare people and want to be feared. That's all it was. Because I think Trump genuinely thought that he could scare the American people into winning, into being a dictator for the rest of his life. I literally think he thinks that, and I think that's not going to work. That's not going to work for me. I'll tell you what. I don't think that's going to work for me, and I don't think that's going to work for the rest of America for sure.
Yeah.
Out of any country's people, we're probably the least people that would work for. Truthfully, but we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. If he wants to prevent my midterm elections, I'm gonna be in the street 100%. You're gonna see a sign from me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about. I said this when he got elected. I said the Malcolm Cole would let him run for a third term if they had it their way.
Yeah, 100%.
They let him run for 4 terms.
They were saying it.
That's what. And they were saying it. I don't know. But it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Nah. You're saying it for a reason.
That shit ain't no joke.
So everybody be careful. Watch it.
Yeah.
Because ain't no way in hell that's happening.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. Yeah. He already tried to steal an election too, so it's like it's cooked.
Yeah.
The fact that he's able to run again, he should. They, Supreme Court essentially created a new precedent so that way he could run again. That's corrupt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's fucking wild.
I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. I did want to mention those streamers. You want to talk about those podcasters, right? And the propaganda. Right. You talk about Turning Point USA and APAC, and they just they pour millions into people to pick their side, right? And Turning Point USA, and there's another super fascist one that I'm forgetting about, but like they pay millions. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I even forgot about this, but I remember how crazy it was. They pay millions to propagandize. Right? They're like, hey, like you go out and say these things, especially Ben Shapiro, and this is what's happening with the MAGA movement because they're starting to realize that because they hate Jews, and so they're like, whoa, AIPAC's super fucked up. Like they're really trying to influence like these elections and these outcomes. Like it's as clear as day right now, especially with the whole Palestine situation. So they're losing base because of that. But that's Turning Point. The other group that they like is Turning Point USA, and they do that, right? They pay so much money for these people to just spill out bullshit, and they're all grifters. Any topic they just want to say something controversial and get a few people with them, say something controversial, make a few $1 million. Like it's crazy, fucking crazy. But on that point too, with the payment, fuck, I forgot where I was going. Well, anyways, Candace Owens. Candace Owens, bro. So. I didn't know this, but in like hearing about her, I watched this guy who talked about, he was talking about the Boondocks and all the characters and what they represent in, today's culture and like America. And Candace Owens is Uncle Ruckus. She is the final goal of late stage capitalism is to produce a black person who is a white supremacist. And like it is as clear as day. And just listening to this guy talk about, he had like a 1-hour video essay about Candace Owens. And I did not know this. When she was in high school, she I believe the mayor's son of her town fucking like was calling her and leaving her voicemails like, I'm gonna fucking hang you, like I'm gonna like whatever, calling her slurs and shit. And so that blew up. in her high school, and she was like afraid of racism and all this shit, and she like sued them. She sued the mayor, and I believe the NAACP helped her, and they won the lawsuit case, and she got $60,000. Yes, yes,
What the
yes,
hell?
actually happened. And so she did that. And then after high school and going to college, she was trying to become like this podcast, like she was trying to do things for the left, kind of. She wanted to do a thing for bullying because she was bullied in high school. So she wanted to like, if basically it was about cyberbullying, like she finds like a cyberbully, it was about like keeping their IP address or some crazy ass shit. And Democrats were like, honestly, bro, that's kind of crazy. Like that's kind of a breach of freedom. We don't like fuck with that idea. So then she starts trying to grift, and she makes one popular video about like basically like being like, she was like, oh, I'm MAGA now, right? And I don't know if anyone remembers those times in like those like near those 2016 era where a bunch of people were posting like, oh, I'm conservative now, or oh, I'm liberal.
Oh, just
Trying to get likes and get a base. That's what she did, and she did it for conservative media, right? And then she gets her base and she starts making fucking bank. Why? Because they start paying her to be a black conservative woman so they can get votes. Right? And then she's out there saying white supremacy is not a problem. She goes to fucking Washington, D.C. and is like, well, I've never been hurt by, like, I've never dealt with racism before. That's just a fucking lie. In high school, she sued and won a lawsuit for fucking racism. And so she's been lying about her whole fucking career. And she's been, bro, it's crazy. You can look it up. And so she lies about her whole career doing this. And why? For capital gain. For capital fucking gain. She sold out all of her fucking people.
Fucking sick. That's fucking crazy. She's a piece of shit. She already was a piece of shit. But I don't understand how you get to that point as a human being.
I don't understand how you can get the support of people for racism and then be like, well, I'd make more money if I help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that instead. Yeah. But you know, this is well, I don't want to sound like misogynistic. But the thing is people want to blame men for all the racism in this country. Guess who's second? It's racist people. It's white women. The truth is,
white women.
It's white women. And listen, that's not against women because they are oppressed. But you have to understand, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi. You have fucking Canada. I'm just talking about who's a grifter, who's a black person saying there's not fucking Nazis when she got scared of Nazis when she was in high school. So fuck her. So, you know, they say all this shit. Like, you have to realize, too, like, you can't just put it on single men. Like, oh, it's the single men, and they're lonely, and they're doing this shit. Wake up, because there's women that are saying that you know, Candace Owens is one of them. They're saying that you shouldn't have a job. They're saying, well, we shouldn't vote. We're not smart enough to vote. They're going up high.
Well, think about it. Who fucking married these fucking racists?
Paid to sell you that idea.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. White women get paid to marry these racist dudes, like, you know, or they do it. They know what they're getting into, and then they want to keep the power structure.
Yeah,
like you said, like women in general are marginalized, but white women want to keep the power structure for them because just flip it on his head. Black woman accuses a white man of a rape. What do you think is going to happen? It's not the same. White woman accuses black man of a rape. They got police force, full force.
Yeah,
trying to figure out what happened. They got resources. They got everything. So I was just thinking about that in my head earlier. So it's a real thing, man. It's a real fucking thing.
You speak about this thing, but this kind of glossed over. But Emmett Till, that lady said that she lied on her deathbed. She was like, the whole story was that he whistled or grabbed her or some crazy shit. Right? And then they hanged him and did that shit to him. And obviously a lot of people knew that was a lie. And then on her deathbed, she admitted that she fucking lied.
Right.
And that was...
Why did it take that long?
Kind of like, yeah, we already knew. But that really didn't... That wasn't really... That was like, well, you know, like, they moved on from that. Like, that's...
Yeah.
And so, you know, listen, we can talk about how Trump is an evil fucking bastard, man. He is. But I think it's important in every group of people, like whether if you're Hispanic, you got to be like, why are my fellow Hispanics trying to get all of us deported and killed. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're Asian, you have to be like, why do we keep going conservative? And not only that, you have to think about the history of what Asian people have done to black people and other races as well. And you like as a group, we have to be conscious of these type of things. We can pick a side and say these people suck and these people are doing things, but that's the start. That's not the end.
Mm-hmm.
And again, especially again, like Candace Owens, man, bro. I mean, her whole story is crazy. As I said before, like she won a lawsuit for racism because she was so scared in high school, right? And then immediately switches to saying there's no such thing as racism, and she's never had a racist experience in her life. That's like, I mean, that's crazy.
It's a story of capitalism greed. That's what she's influenced by.
So,
which is fucking crazy.
This guy, that is the final goal of like late stage racism and capitalism, right? Is getting people, and that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying, like, I don't know if I'm even a capitalist anymore, because we're at a point now where people are trying to sell out even themselves in the promise of and prosperity, and. And again, Candace Owens is a great example of that, because she had racist trauma, right, which was fucked up and shouldn't have happened to her. And she used the color of her skin to disenfranchise other people with that trauma, so that way she can become rich and famous.
Yeah.
And so, and again, it's her going to I can't believe it, but her going to the White House. This was like a few years ago. She went to the White House talking about like white supremacy. She's like, honestly, white nationalism and white supremacy, all that stuff, it's not that bad. And she was saying that, in the Senate. And it's like, one, look at where we are now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They tried to make all this talk when this, because what was when they had the Nazi group and they drove through Charlotte. When they had that thing happen in Charlotte, white supremacy and all that stuff was a big deal, and people were trying to talk about it. And then they kind of, it's actually not that bad. Don't worry about it, right? Look at where we are now.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's fucking crazy, her story, man.
Yeah. Look into it. As I said, I didn't know any of that. I mean, there's people like that of her that like exist, but it's kind of.
Well, shout out Eminem. Shout out Eminem for dissing Candace Owens. He diss her all the time.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Eminem.
Hell yeah, bro. I mean, everyone knew it.
That boy hold it down.
Yeah, for real. Well, something that's not talked a lot about in U.S. history or history in general is there's been a lot of white people that have been against racism and slavery and other countries too. Like, I mean, people wrote it like these. Here's the thing. This is what I also think is part of the propaganda and what is paying, like what these 1%ers and people are paying for information not to be like found out. But basically, every single thing that you can think about in history, there were two sides. And there were people arguing about why it's wrong and why it's right. And then there's groups of people who are funding and lobbying to get some shit passed. Slavery was, again, made by these 1%ers who wanted to hold and concentrate all the wealth. And white people were a lot of white people were still poor then. And they did all these things.
Yep.
They created a civil war. They did all these things. I don't know if it says you're connecting, so I'll wait.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
My battery's about to die. But you're good.
All right, I'll finish this. But all throughout history, including with slavery, like they had, there's all these political opinions, and they use the same arguments, man. You just have to listen. You have to just read or wake up, because it's not going to change, man. These people, like, these things are tested. This is how you get votes.
Well, that's what's funny is they use. There's white people say, "Oh yeah, only 10% of people own slaves or something." Not even, maybe 5%, right? They'll be like, "Oh, so not every white person is racist." Yeah, well, what the fuck were y'all doing when it was fucking y'all saw slaves and you're fucking right next to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You saw all this shit go down, and there was only a select few of white people that actually did something to try to help the cause. To try to end slavery. It was a very select few. Now there was a good amount of people that did, but it was I'd say 1%.
Yeah,
if that.
Right.
And so you can't just wiggle out of that and enjoy all your privileges, especially in terms of housing, especially in terms of building wealth,
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, my grandpa was racist, I wasn't." No, you gotta have a little accountability.
Yeah, and
A little accountability.
where is the accountability? Because it's like racism isn't gone. So you can say, well, my grandfather's and I'm not, but like, why is racism still here? You don't think that other people think the same thing and that it's not still affecting somehow? Like, you think it's created, maybe, or like
Yep.
what? Because either
Well, they might even argue that their grandfather wasn't racist. You know what I mean?
that's what.
Because they didn't own slaves.
And well, the thing is, they're like slavery wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
and slavery like so they were,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's like, bro, no, it was really bad. They did medical.
yeah.
They would like cut your balls off and fucking like they would do crazy shit to you if you were a slave, and they would do it for fun, and they could do it because it's legal. And
Yep.
the problem when it comes to dehumanizing, and again, we're at that point in history where everyone needs to take a stance right now because they're trying to do it. You know, as I said, Peak Hexeth, you know, fucking double tapped a fucking boat. You know what I'm saying? There's people hanging on burning pieces of a boat, and he's like, yeah, like kill them all. You know, giving an order to kill them all after these people are literally just hanging on a boat, surviving. I mean, that's crazy, and that's not going to end. It's not going to end unless this is convicted. It's not going to end if we don't impeach Trump. You know, like everyone needs to take a stand. That's
their fucking policy, which is fucking nuts.
The thing is, you see, we can say they're nuts, but there's too many people like them that are in this country because ICE couldn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, anyone that puts on that mask and runs around, I mean, they're just as guilty. You know, and if you're married to a guy like if you know like a guy like that and you're still friends with him, you're just as guilty. Period.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, the best quote is, I didn't say anything when they came after the socialists. I didn't say anything when they came after the communists. I didn't say anything when they came after the labor unions. I didn't say anything when they came after the Jews. And no one was able to hear me when they came after me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's from, I mean, like, you could just take any passage from the Nazi regime and it's going to line up perfectly with what's happening now. It's bad. It's a shit show.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Well, shit, man. I think we covered everything, man. It was a good talk, man. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, I mean, I talked to you about that CIA thing. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
you definitely put me on game.
Yeah, and I wanted to get into the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I mean, that's probably I got two more because obviously I want to talk about the cancel this thing. I got two more things. All right, both are quick.
All right.
If you have time.
All right, that's good. Go ahead.
So, I mean, I was trying to find out more information before I just came out and spewed it. So I would say take everything with a grain of salt because I didn't have enough time to investigate like this shit. But basically, from what I understand, again, speaking of the Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk met his wife at Turning Point USA. And the reason why that's important is because basically, like, I want to say that she already worked there, if I recall correctly. Mm-hmm. But they met there and they quickly like got together and then ended up getting married and all this stuff. And it just feels like so he dies, everything gets put in her name, and then she goes on a press tour and she starts doing all these things. And this isn't even like, so MAGA, the reason you're saying that like with the Epstein files, like MAGA started there started been a little worse. But honestly, I was surprised at this. But I felt like I started hearing whispers about this from MAGA when Charlie Kirk died. And that's because there was a lot of rumors like, you know, it seemed fishy about this assassination because they're like, well, you know, they found these bullets and they seem kind of fake as fuck, you know?
Yeah, MAGA was saying this is the MAGA right here.
Yeah. And they're, well, I don't know. That just seems fishy. And then they're like, well, the image, like how he fell, they were saying like there's a trap door and all this shit. I mean, I don't think there's a trap door. Then there's videos of them like grabbing something and like quickly like giving it to someone, you know, when they're like, whatever, like trying to help Charlie Kirk after he got shot. And then you have like Apparently when he was shot, there was a guy saying, I shot him, I shot him, I shot him, and like ran around naked or some crazy ass shit. I don't I heard that from Joe Rogan. I don't know how much I can trust from him. But the reason why I like started to think a little bit differently about it is because the whole Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk situation, like, bro, your husband dies and you immediately go on a press tour, bro. And then not only that, there's videos of her putting like fake tears in her eyes before she goes on stage. And then not only that, like, they met a turning point. Like this would like not only that seemed there's rumors that Charlie Kirk was gonna slightly change his stance on Israel. That kind of comes from bad sources because it comes from Candace Owens. Some of the stuff comes from Candace Owens. You can't trust a word that she says. But then you have like the fact that she's been involved with like some APAC stuff, the fact that she had like Erica Kirk has some like bad things that link up to her. Like I think there was a thing that one of her foster care things that she like owns in a different country got shut down because their conditions were so bad for kids. And so it just doesn't link up well. And then also you have to think about it. If this guy wasn't gonna like, why this guy? Not a politician. There's a lot. I think a lot of liberals felt this way. There was a lot more evil people than Charlie Kirk. Like I think a lot of people were like, I mean, I didn't fuck with the guy, but there was a lot more evil people than Charlie Kirk. And it just seemed weird that he was killed. But I don't know. So that all that stuff just seems so weird to me. And as I said, with this new, clearly to me, a false flag operation with the CIA, this a previous CIA person killing National Guard member at this time, like that just does. I mean, come on. I can't believe that. I can't believe that for a second. That's just crazy. Like there's no way. I'm sorry. Like I have to say that's a false flag operation. So how many have they been trying to do? That's what's crazy. How many have they been trying to do? And I will say I have to give a shout out to MAGA because I was like, I don't know, bro. Just some crazy person killed him. But MAGA was at first like, I don't know, things seem fishy. And now we're getting to a point now where I question everything. I can't believe any single thing coming from the government.
I think probably just I think he just spoke, words, and somebody was like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I think it just happened to him. But I do think the first one with the CIA, I think that one was for sure like false flag. I could see that happen. But I think Charlie Kirk was big enough that his words.
Yeah, how Erica Kirk is talking to J.D. Vance and the president and going on.
That's odd. No, Erica Kirk is like, that's the thing that would make me convinced.
She's going on a press tour of her husband. And you can say she's trying to like do right by his memory and blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. It seems like a position change.
Yeah. I don't know. You need some more searching for this Charlie Kirk false flag, because all I heard was Joe Rogan and Candace Owens.
But here's the thing about all this stuff, okay? That this is a trick, right? Nazism has done this, right? The Hitler regime had people that were killed, maybe by Jews or maybe by people, and then are able to frame it to become more. And so that's what they did with her. Yes. That's what they're trying to do with this National Guard member. That's why I'm saying it's fishy, because you have one with. That's why I'm saying after this happens, now I don't know about the Charlie Kirk thing, because happens, clearly a false flag to me. There's no why that's a false flag. I'm sorry, bro. There's no way you can sit here and say that this National Guard got killed by some crazed radical that was somehow approved by the Trump administration and then worked for the CIA. Come on, bro. So that seems fishy, and they're using that to get more radical, and they're trying to use that to more gain power. What lengths do they wouldn't go? And then let's say this guy would have changed his opinion on something that was a pivotal point and had the biggest base, they would fucking kill him.
Yeah, if it was Israel, I agree with that.
And again, I mean, it doesn't seem like Charlie, his wife cares, bro. Bro, if my wife did this shit, bro, oh my God, I'd be sad. I hope my wife would never do these things. Bro, if I die,
I don't know. Maybe she didn't love him as much as we thought. I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, that shit's crazy.
That shit's crazy. And I mean, someone had her like putting in eye drops before she cried on stage. Like, that's tough. I don't know. So that was my other conspiracy theory, because these things just don't line up, and it's part of fascism to have martyrs, and there's a specific thing to use like a dead person's wife as like a like as a way to get more extremism, like to put more extremism in the public, so that way you can do more crazier shit. And that's a known thing. That's a known tactic. Hitler did it many times to get people to do crazier shit. And other governments do that all the time. Obviously, like there's so many examples. Israel right now is a great example of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Seems crazy to me. I'll leave it at that. Because I have another one, but I mean that's crazy. But I mean, hopefully, if this story develops more, I'll come on the pass, because I have to talk about it. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely be down to hear more. I gotta, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I just don't see it. I just see Charlie. I mean, he's doing all these college shows. You know, he's doing them, and I think somebody just, had enough. That's all I really think. If you preach about violence enough, something can happen to you. So I really think that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and he was saying like these people are human, and that these people deserve to die, and like or not. He didn't say these people deserve to die, but he was saying like he was expressing that. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
He was trying to express like a way to hate people and to hate groups of people. You can sit here and say
young Republican lingo.
Young Republican lingo. I mean, that young Republican group chat is damning, and it should fear everyone about what they plan to do if they win the next election.
Yeah.
And they're all joking about it. J.D. Vance says, I joke about that stuff too. So, you know what? It's time to wake up.
Trump is on the Epstein's files. He's accused of a bunch of shit. That motherfucker's guilty. Wake up if y'all haven't already.
Yeah,
you see his character. You know who the fuck he is. You've heard all the what he said. He's sending birthday letters.
I mean, this man has been convicted for paying prostitutes. This man has been convicted for.
Yeah.
I mean, and his name is in some of the emails. And then Epstein's saying, "Oh, this guy was the worst guy out of us."
Yeah, and he's saying Epstein is saying you're the worst person. That's what the fuck.
He doesn't like you. Like he has some basis to stand on that, bro. And
they said like he's in the same room as a 15-year-old.
But what's his wife that was in custody? That after she had an interview, was like, I don't know anything about that. And she specifically used language to, if this guy ever does go in trial, she wouldn't be necessarily in trouble, because she was like, well, maybe I don't know, or like, the way she framed how her words saying, like if you look at her how she was talking about why he isn't in there, she was saying it in a way that if he is in there, she probably wouldn't get in trouble. Like that's how she framed the answers to her questions. Secondly, after that interview, she gets special treatments, and that was after he sent someone to talk to her. Come on, bro. Like that what are we talking about?
Yeah. It's not a doubt in my mind that Trump did that shit, and he's on the files, and he did it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, he is a crazier level. He's the biggest piece of shit I've ever known. And I mean, if he's the Epstein files, it really doesn't change my opinion, because I still think he's scum on earth. It makes
he's the same person I thought he was.
I already thought about him.
Yeah. True. 100%.
Yeah. All right, man.
Oh,
The pardons.
Well, good, man.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about, man. Well, I think I'd say right now, man, the best thing we can do is solidarity, stay unionized, fight for your rights while you still can, bro. Vote while you still can. And that's not a joke.
That's real shit.
Yeah.
Especially with all the gerrymandering. Yeah. Vote while you still can. Yeah, well, shit. There's been real. We're going to have to do this again. We're going to do this every other week, every month. We're going to keep locked in on the politics. This is what it's about. I don't just talk about sports. This is here for you, everybody, to voice their opinion. Got one of the smartest people I know right here, my brother Deonte.
Hello, bro.
He was dropping it on.
Yeah.
And man, we'll be back, man. That was y'all need to wake up, like we said.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey, although
All right, bro. Man.
thanks for inviting me on, bro. You know, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'll be back, bro. And thanks for letting me rant for a little bit.
It was good. That was perfect. All right, look, bro. I'm gonna edit this up and I'm gonna send it.
All right, bro. Sounds good, bro.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Peace.